Alrighty, so we are going to be spending the next little bit learning about auto layout. This is a very important subject. We will be using this in pretty much every single app we make. Alright, so what is auto layout? Well, it might be easier to show you the problem that auto layout is trying to solve first. So let's create a simple app. We're going to create a fake login screen, okay? So create a new project and select single view app and say next. And we can call this learning auto layout. Okay, I'm gonna say next. And I'm just gonna put that on the desktop. And let's jump into storyboard. All right, so like I said, let's go ahead and create a simple login screen. From the last lesson, you should know how to open up the object library. I'm going to use the shortcut, Command-Shift-L. And we're going to go and find a couple of text fields. I'm going to hold Option because we're going to be dragging in multiple UI elements. So I'm going to drag that in. Oh, for some reason that didn't work. Let's try that again. Holding Option and drag in. Okay, there we go. And then we're gonna get a button as well. That's gonna be down here at the bottom. And then let's also get a label, and we'll put that up here at the top. All right, and then I'm going to close this, and let's go ahead and arrange this a little bit. This label is just gonna be kind of a little welcome label. So we'll say, welcome to my cool app. Okay. And I'll put that over here in the middle. And these, you'll see these guidelines pop up to help you position your UI elements. Let's go ahead and put this one right about here. And then let's grab this text field and we can line it up with our label, make it look nice. And we'll put this one under it and expand the size of the one below it. There we go. Then we'll get our button here and we'll drop it down here at the bottom and align it to the center. And then let's make this look a little bit nicer, and we can practice using our attributes inspector. So first thing I'm going to do is change the background of our view. Okay. So over here in our document outline, we can select our view, which is containing all of our other UI elements. And let's open our attributes inspector. And right here with our background, we can change this. All right, so let's go ahead and click here. And I have some recently used colors. I'm going to use this blue one. If you want to use that same blue color, you can get it. It is hex 3EA1F2. Okay. And then I'm going to grab our label right here, and let's change the color of its text. I'm going to make it white. And then we're going to change the font. I'm going to select font and custom. And we're going to change the family to Caleb's favorite font, Avenir Next. And let's go with a bold style, and we'll say done. That looks good. Then we'll just need to re-drag that over. One thing that I want to show you real quick is if you're changing the size of a label or a button and it gets truncated, like you made it too big for the size, you can either resize it like that, or a shortcut is do Command equal, and it will pop out the size to wrap the size of the label. Okay, so let's put that there in the middle. And then for our text fields, what we can do, since these are fields that people will need to enter information in, it would be helpful if they knew what they were supposed to enter, right? So we can enter placeholder text. So I'll say username, and then that will appear right there. And then we'll say password, and that'll appear there. And for passwords, what we can do with these is we can come down here to the content type, and we can set a password content type so that when they are typing in it, it'll just appear as those little black dots. Okay. Another thing that you can do is you can change the border style on these text fields. So that gives it a empty background. That just makes it kind of a bordered outline. And so we'll just keep it with this pill type, the rounded rectangle. All right, so that's looking good. Let's go ahead and get our button here. And I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to set the background color. That's over here in our attributes inspector down here. I'm going to change it to white. And then I'm going to change the text color to that same one that we've been using, that kind of light blue. And let's change the font to match. So I'm going to say custom font. Family is Avenir Next. And let's do a medium style on the button. And we'll say done. All right, so we have a nice looking little login screen here, all right? So let's change the title here. Let's double click on that and you can say log in. All right, so the problem that AutoLayout is helping us to solve, all right? So right now, I am viewing this as an iPhone 8, right? And we've lined up everything nice and centered for an iPhone 8. So if I ran this on an iPhone 8, it would look fine. However, if we look at it on an iPhone 4S, this is what it's going to look like. So let's talk real quick about the iOS coordinate system. Up here in the top left is 0, 0, okay? And as you go out to the right, that is increasing X. As you go down, that is increasing Y, okay? And so where these are located, we can see here in our size inspector, we are at 82X, so 82X, and 42Y, 42Y. This one down here, this button way down here, is at, let's see here, 127X and 614Y. The problem is that the iPhone 4S is not even that tall. You can actually see where that button should be, but the 4S is so short and tiny that this doesn't even appear on the screen. So the solution that AutoLayout is giving us is a way to make it so that we can constrain our UI elements, pin them. You can kind of think of it like if you had a piece of paper and you were gluing things to the piece of paper to make sure they stayed where they need to be. What that is going to allow us to do is that for any of these configurations or orientations, even on the iPhone 8, if I change this to landscape orientation, you're still going to have the same problem. So what AutoLayout is going to enable us to do is make it so that this will look good across any of these, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 devices in portrait and landscape if we so desire. Now, side note, if you think we have it bad with these 8 screen sizes, check out what Android developers have to deal with, all right? So this is a tool inside of the Android developer console that shows you all the Android devices manufactured, all right? So this is hundreds of manufacturers, thousands of different devices. It's kind of bananas. And this just goes on and on and on and on. Can you imagine having to, or even attempting to make sure that your layout looks good on all these different devices? Hurts my head. All right, so count your lucky stars that you don't have to worry about that many devices. All right, so like I said, AutoLayout is the latest attempt to solve this problem. Before, there was setting positions and constraints programmatically, then layout masks, and now AutoLayout. And Apple is pushing AutoLayout pretty hard. Now, I will say there is a bit of a debate out there amongst developers as to whether it is better to make your UI layouts in code or in storyboard. And though I am a supporter of storyboards, especially for beginners, programmatically making your UI definitely has its benefits in some cases. But that's not what we are talking about in this section. So let's take a look in the next video at an introduction to how AutoLayout actually works.